I am Lisbon Productions, an Hollywood filmmaker. Well, I am here to throw more light on this much discussed issue of Yul Edochie and JUDY AUSTIN. I had already decided that I had to let the cat out of the bag so that people will know exactly what happened. Because from every indication, people had just conceived the wrong story. What people were condemning them for wasn't even actually what happened. It wasn't even in any way near to what happened that led to that second marriage and the rest. So I am here to throw more light on it, to say it the way it happened and what led to it. First of all, I have to start with our industry, the way our industry is. This issue of Yul Edochie and JUDY AUSTIN. Few of my colleagues, or if I can say many of them, know about this matter. This is their issue, the real story. But everybody's afraid to come out to talk because in one way or the other, he is a friend to many of them, you understand? And even when you want to talk or when you want to say it, how it happened, you see many of his colleagues attacking you. They know the way they attack producers and directors. So, but I've taken that bold step so that I'll guide people. Because it's certain that when you are giving judgment and you give judgment on a wrong story, definitely it must have been a wrong judgment. Before you give a right judgment to something, you must have conceived a good story, the real story, how it happened. So, let me start with JUDY AUSTIN. From what I know, had been an Enugu-based artist, for such a long time. She had been there in the this industry, for such a long time, and had not actually made her way to the top since she had been there. Probably because she's a very uninteresting artist. I don't see her as a good artist in terms of acting wise. She had been there, and I've seen a couple of her movies. She didn't perform wonderfully well. In fact, she didn't perform well at all. I know even the one she performed a little, probably the director must have guided her to do the little she did at that time. But generally, she had not been. Because there's one thing about good actresses. Once you're good, you'll be recommended from one production house to another. You understand? So she had been there. It's just that she sees the opportunity, having met with Yul Edochie, grabbed the opportunity, feasted on Yul Edochie's popularity, to make her own popularity. You understand? It's just that, what do I say? To rate Yul Edochie fall prey to this girl. He's the kind of person that I've met with so many beautiful girls, much more prettier than JUDY AUSTIN. But the question is, why would it be JUDY AUSTIN that he would jeopardize the peace of his marriage for? So I will tell you exactly how it is, what led to it. Just listen. If actually you want to get first class stories about many of these celebrities, it's a simple thing to do, and just be nice to your crew members. As a filmmaker you are, just be nice to your crew members. Be nice to all these upcoming artists. They are somehow relatively close to all these celebrities. Because take for an instance, a makeup artist who is also part of the crew. So when they are making all these people up, they're always there when they are making their secret calls. You understand? Take their secret calls and then they're always there. So from there they know some things. And at some point, these people still discuss some of their private issues with all these crew members. Once you are being nice or being or probably not high-handed to all these crew members, trust me, you get all these first-class information about all these artists. So I think that's how all these things come back. Everybody, or let me say a few people, know about this. You understand? So what happened was that you all met JUDY AUSTIN. How they came across each other, that's what I don't know. But they came across each other, they met with each other, and before you knew what happened, they fell in love. So it was quite like, or to Yul, it was quite like maybe one of all those things, one of all those probably relationships, you understand? So, but until Judy Austin came up with an idea, a business idea. You understand? And such a business idea, Yul Edochie thought maybe they could break the record with. And the business proposal was that they will start their separate productions, doing their own separate productions, whereby Judy Austin will be funding, and Yul Edochie will be directing, and then making sure he recoups the money and all that. Which to me was at least a big. It was a big venture. If not that the thing took a different turn. So when the thing, according to how they planned it, they executed as planned, and not until Yul Edochie couldn't account for all this money that was left in his custody, because Judy Austin was the one funding those different, because that time they were shooting different films, you understand, to their credit, shooting many films. They have many films to their credit. They shot severally, back to back, serially, and Yul Edochie was the one directing. So, and that was the point I had. Yul Edochie had turned a director, even when I knew him as an artist. So I still digested that and kept my ears to the ground before the whole thing turned sour. Yul Edochie mismanaged the fund. That was just the pure truth. When I'm talking about fund, I mean a whole lot of millions of naira, a heavy amount of money. And in addition to that, I see later heard that he borrowed another heavy amount from Judy Austin, which he couldn't pay back. And that was at the point he started doing Judy Austin's bidding, because there wasn't even any avenue. He wasn't even coming forth with any other avenue to pay back those money. And then Judy Austin, being the owner of the cash, you understand, I can't just allow Yul Edochie to just go like that. You understand? So they had small tussle over the payment of this money. But at the end of the day, Judy Austin came up with an offer that Yul Edochie should marry her, which Yul Edochie consented to, but it shouldn't be immediate, according to how they planned it. It shouldn't be immediate. You understand? But they agreed that this girl, Judy Austin, will conceive for Yul Edochie. Before you knew it, Judy Austin became pregnant. Before you knew it, she gave birth to that baby boy. And part of the agreement was that Yul Edochie will announce the baby to the world as his biological son, which was the last straw that broke the camel's back. So, and this whole thing turned the table around, whereby this guy, Yul Edochie, was doing the biddings of this girl. So that was just a simple truth. So every other things started coming out of, this story. All the things, all the activities they embarked on, was just emanated from this story, actually. You understand? So that was why when people are throwing jabs at them, even on social media, both of them will keep dancing, because people never knew the real story. You understand? So until you know this story, you won't see them dancing again. You understand? They create fun, they dance, they make merry, over a story people conceive to be a wrong story. So that was the truth. You understand? It's not today we've been seeing things like this, or maybe probably a young girl run into a married man. You understand? And to such an extent that they got married. It didn't start today, and it will definitely not end today. We've been seeing those things. You understand? It's just that these people's own, to me, they went to the extreme. You understand? They took their own story or their own matter took a different turn from what people expected, and at the same time, it's quite a disgusting thing they did there, and to the shame of the industry. You understand? Because I've not seen a celebrity that did so many disgusting things like Yul Edochie. So that's the reason I said I must come out to say things, the real things. I've been keeping it to myself. It's not something I should have just like that. You understand? I open up and start talking, but at some point I came to that conclusion to open up. That was exactly what happened. Anytime you see all these male celebrities, more especially the cute ones amongst them, you see all these big girls, flocking around them, throwing cash on them and then trying to make them happy and all that. So it's the pure truth. But that of this guy took a different turn. So, like I was saying, when Yul Edochie couldn't pay back the money, and he also never wanted Judy to drag him on social media, and so that was at the point he started doing her biddings, obeying whatever command Judy Austin was dishing out at that time. So at that time, even I also heard that the close friends to Yul Edochie mounted pressure on him not to go as far as he did at that time, but he kept, doing what he was doing. He was so adamant and never wanted somebody to talk him out of it. You understand? Never knowing there was a real issue underneath. So both of them have been keeping this secret from people, for the public space. You understand? Not until I decided to let the cat out of the bag. You understand? So that was exactly what happened. Though it was quite a reluctant process for Yul Edochie to agree to that second marriage with Judy Austin. It was quite a long. It wasn't immediate. So it's something he thought over and over and over. You understand? Trying to digest it, trying to know the implications. You understand? And all that. So, but some things also were into consideration at that time. As I heard that Yul Edochie met many qualities in Judy Austin, which May Edochie, his wife, never had. He met so many qualities, that he loves in women, you understand, which his wife never had. So that also was a stepping stone again to that second marriage. His indebtedness to Judy Austin played 90% of the role. Then that comparison, he was comparing those qualities Judy Austin had and which his wife never had, played 10% of what happened. So that was exactly what happened. Because like all these crew members that were feeding me with all this informations and all that, in as much as they were looked down upon, they are everywhere. In every production house, you see many of them there. They have done so many films to their credit. So these were exactly what happened. So that when you, as a commentator, wants to comment, you know what you are actually commenting on. You want to give your judgment, you know what you are judging from. So this is just the pure truth. And that was exactly what happened, according to where those information were brought to me. So that is it. If you ask me, I would say Judy Austin outsmarted Yul Edochie in many ways. Yes, a whole lot of money weren't accounted for. You understand? A whole lot of her money, was in the custody of Yul Edochie, which wasn't paid back. You understand? But I saw that thing as something momentary. You understand? But what Judy Austin got in return, the favor and what he got from Yul Edochie was quite far, bigger than whatever money Yul Edochie must have gotten from her. Trust me, that is the truth. Because several years ago, nobody knew about Judy Austin. Nobody even knew that she existed. So all of a sudden, she now got herself entangled with this guy. You understand? And feasted on that popularity and make herself popular. Now, if you go to her page, you see numerous followers, and now she's the talk of the town. And she meets politicians. All these politicians, she meets them on daily basis. In fact, as in the team made her so popular, in as much as it might be a big amount for Yul Edochie to pay back, you understand, is a shaking money to this girl, because it's not in any way close to what she can make with this her popularity now, her present status now. So that's why I said she outsmarted. So now Yul Edochie on his own side, can't pay this money. Even in a long while, he can't pay it. So that was where, he started doing this girl's biddings. It was business that they did, which a whole lot of money was left in the care of Yul Edochie, and they weren't paid back. So that is just a thing. So it was from there that the whole lot of things, all these people, you people had now said coming out. And when I was reading some comments, I came across where several people were saying it was sham that Judy Austin used on Yul Edochie. I laughed. It was quite laughable. My dear, it wasn't any sham at all. It wasn't any sham. Yul Edochie, when every other artist, celebrities were reigning. You understand? So flaunting their houses, their cars and the rest. You understand? So he wanted to do his and that, but he had not gotten to that extent. He had not gotten to that status to start flaunting cash and houses and the rest. So that made him, enter the trap of this girl. That pushed him into this trap, which he never came out. And now the thing has destroyed a piece of his family. You understand? Destabilized, broke his home and the rest. So he's serving grace now. It's just that Facebook is paying. Maybe all those things, all those gingerings, all those things they were doing, you understand, creating fun on social media, understand, because probably social media will be paying them for all those traffic, the traffic they generate from their controversy of their marriage. That is what is paying them, Yul Edochie for now. Because we as producers, we don't contract him again because of all this ugly story hanging around him. Everybody wants to put his money where his money will not be jeopardized. So no producer thinks of hiring his services any longer. So the little benefit or the little money he's making is just from the social media. So when he posts something, everybody will enjoy. Everybody will want to watch and see where to criticize. You not knowing you are putting money in his pocket at the same time. That made this girl done to him is far bigger than the money he thought he got from her. And secondly, this issue of maybe him comparing JUDY AUSTIN with his wife May Edochie is where another problem lied, because he saw many good things, many things he thought was good. You understand? In JUDY AUSTIN, his wife never possessed some qualities, some things he enjoyed in women. You understand? Probably he never saw them in the wife. That made him, that push or that led him, you understand, to move towards that direction. You understand? Even after all the warnings by his friends, by his family members and the rest. So it was just probably because his father is a traditional man and supports all this polygamy and all that. Even though the father never had any polygamous marriage, but he hadn't seen it as a bad idea. So that was why their own flourished. So it was never in any way a sham. It wasn't a sham, and it will never be a sham. It's just that he saw things. That was, according to what I had, that was what formed that money he was owing JUDY AUSTIN formed 90% of what happened, and then the 10% came from that comparison between the qualities JUDY AUSTIN had and then the qualities his wife had. So that was where he started thinking of maybe who to run to, that kind of thing. Though he never had intention of driving May Edochie home. No, he wanted to manage both of them, understand, not knowing that the whole marriage could crash. And at that time, he saw his children coming after him, you understand. So he thought May Edochie must have turned his children against him. So that contributed another stage of crisis in that marriage. So these were what happened, to the best of my knowledge, from what I heard from within our industry. So that people, when you are making your statements, when you are making your utterances, you know exactly what what you are dishing out. You know what you're saying, you know what you're commenting on. So I think that's all I had to say. I need to set this record straight so that people will be guided. Thank you very much.